Welcome back to Tech, Tesla and Trends. Waymo has pulled the plug on its commercial trucking program, Via. This is big news, whether you are aware of it. It may seem like, it's not as commercially viable right now and they need to focus on their ride-hailing app, especially when you consider that orange cones are a significant obstacle to the Waymo Cruise platform. So we're looking at this from a perspective of what does Tesla have as a competitive product? It's pretty clear. We have FSD. And you have something else, Semi. Both of those integrate seamlessly, or will, when they are released to work together. And you know that will be the case somewhere in the next 3 to 5 years at the most, I would suspect. Now, as we look at where Waymo's at, they have barely been able to pull in about $3.2 billion in commercial funding from other sources than Google since 2020. How much does Tesla put into FSD development and Semi? It's considerably more than that $3.2 billion. Guarantee you that. So as we look at where the competitive landscape lays for Tesla's Semi and FSD, and then the ride-hailing side that Waymo is still focusing on, there's a big gap that Waymo is struggling to reach, and they're not going to have sufficient mileage or data to be able to achieve the success they're after. So as we consider where this takes the overall competitive landscape, it seems very clear to me why GM may also be negotiating with Tesla for the use of FSD at some point in the future. Because it appears to me that Google is no longer willing to support this long-term money-losing product. Google's not known for its ability to sustain losses in any way, shape, or form. It's no longer an innovative tech company. The issue with Google is that it has become a financial company. It's all about the next quarter and the quarter after that, where the projected profits are, and maintaining the income that it currently has. That is not how innovation works. That is not how companies that are seeking to be innovative in their overall focus, or in their overall nature, can achieve what they're seeking to do. They can't grow if they're unwilling to take losses or to lose or to fail. And Google is very much unwilling to fail at anything. Anything that is in the short term losses and projecting more losses will be shelved and killed by the Google development team. It's just the nature of Google. It's no longer that great innovative company that it once was, that was releasing and changing the world and didn't want to be evil. That's just not who they are anymore. Now, as we look at where this leaves Waymo, it leaves Waymo in the position of having to struggle with funding. And if they are unable to find external funders that have sufficient depth of pockets and of data for Waymo to move forward, it's doomed to failure. It's a losing fight that they will ultimately crash and burn on. Hopefully not from an actual crash and burn. That would be bad. But from a financial standpoint, Waymo just does not have the depth and breadth necessary to actually run the race the way that Tesla does with FSD and with the coming of Tesla's ride hailing, which is absolutely at the core of where they're working towards and what they intend to develop. And once that ride hailing and FSD, which version 12 is no longer going to be a beta test, it's moving into the full production realm, as FSD is utilized and moved forward and enabled to operate by the federal government, which it will be because they will document at least a 10x and probably closer to a 10x beyond that. We'll see exactly how much more efficient FSD becomes. It's ultimately going to enable Tesla to roll out a ride hailing, and their commercial products will be enabled at some point to utilize FSD, which will realize the profits that everybody else is trying to create from a commercial trucking program. Now, in Tesla's case, they've built in the technology already into Semi. It's a matter of time before they turn it on. There's a huge difference between developing technology and turning that technology on and enabling it to actually function in the real world. It is my assertion that Tesla will do this sometime in the next 3 to 5 years for the commercial fleet. After they have completely rolled out the ride hailing, it will come to the next logical step, which is commercial ride hailing, so to speak, for cargo. And it'll be adopted quite quickly and rapidly because there aren't enough drivers on the road or available. They're always trying to hire more semi-drivers. Every day, just go look in the newspaper. Go look online. They're always hiring CDL drivers because there aren't enough of them. This is going to change as the robotic aspect of ride hailing is introduced into that semi-driving. And they'll be able to convoy or link or have some other initiative there that will bring Tesla into the forefront of autonomous trucking. This is the future that we're going to see. It's going to happen within the next 3 to 5 years. And it's going to be one thing that we are completely discounting, I think, in the overall scheme of the transition of an electric economy. And it is going to be very much a positive for Tesla. And yes, I'm sure there will be some incidents along the way, but that's the nature of growth and change. And robotaxi will prove to us that it is safer than a human driver. That is going to be a huge and impactful moment in the history of driving and in the history of humanity. I'm sure there's plenty of you out there that have very strong opinions about automated drivers and FSD. Feel free to chime in the comments. Tell me what you think I got wrong. I love the conversation. There's a lot we can learn and discuss, and there's points that I'm sure I'm not considering right now, having just read that Ars Technica article on Waymo shutting down its Via division. So for now, have a good night, and we'll talk to you in the comments below.